What's up everybody, it's Neberos and we're back with another video. Rev Says Desu, you knew it was coming, Pragmata. Yeah, we're gonna see people crashing out, self-reporting, and basically failing to understand the human condition. I haven't pre-watched this video, mind you. I just saw it last night before I went to bed, and I see there's a follow-up, so be on the lookout for that one. Link to the original video will be down below. Be sure to check it out if you want to. Give Rev some love. He certainly doesn't really need it, but I mean, I know he'd appreciate it. Anyway, let's get into it.
Hey, what's up guys, Rev here. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about the game Pragmata, that despite its amazing start in the first few days of its release, I still feel like it's not getting enough love. This is a game that focuses on a spacefarer named Hugh, who alongside his android companion Diana are fighting off an AI that has taken over their station as they try to fight that off and return to Earth. Now, this game also features a very wholesome father.
I know how it ends, and maybe I don't want to play the game after all. I'm not going to spoil it, but you can maybe guess if you haven't seen it. But it won't run on my PC anyway.
Daughter dynamic, and a lot of people are feeling this innate
do it for her
playing this game, and it's very wholesome to see. But as pointed out by this quote, there's two reactions. This game is dragging out the innate dad instinct of every male gamer, and on the other hand, it's driving fatherless people into fits of rage, including people claiming you're a predator if you play this game. In fact, we're going to see some
yeah, Scrub, I'm sorry your dad didn't love you.
Amazing self-reports where some people are claiming this is the predator's ideal version of a child. What an odd thing to say. How would you have that knowledge in the first place? But anyways, the success of this game is undeniable. Has a very high player count, and look at the rating on Steam, over 94% positive. And again,
yeah, they wish that woke flops like that have recently come out, like Concord and the like. What was that re-looted bullshit? And then there was a few others that actually flopped as well. I just think of also Dragon Age the Veilguard. They wish it pulled numbers like this.
And one of the main reasons is the character Diana. There are so many viral clips. This is just a compilation here of just cute, wholesome moments from this game that are really tugging at the heartstrings of millions right now.
Yep.
You can see tweets like this saying,
which actually reminds me a lot of my niece. Yeah. Very similar facial features, and my niece happens to be blonde as well, so.
What
It hits pretty close to home for me.
It can't be. It's like, I want to protect. It's like, I want to be a dad. This one saying, this game is a Japanese ploy to bring out the built-in dad instinct of male gamers and increase birth rates worldwide.
You know, if COVID was a psyop to try to get people for the state to see how, and they actually admitted to this actually, if COVID was a ploy, a psyop to see how compliant the civilization and citizenry could be, then I'm perfectly willing to go along with this as a psyop to raise birth rates.
Here's another one saying, OMG, she hangs up her little drawings on the wall like it's the kitchen fridge.
I didn't know this.
Sort of set of moments, these memes, these posts, these wholesome moments from the game that are going viral, that are helping the success. It got off to a strong start day one with a peak player count of 56,000, but it's actually risen each day, going to 67,000 the next day and up to 68,000 on day 3. This is always a great sign for a game when it's climbing the further out from release. The word.
Yep, like they're sleeping, then people are awake, and then people are sleeping, and then people are awake, and then people are sleeping, and then people are awake. Yep.
Word is getting around, and I am very glad to share the word for this game. I think this deserves all the success, and it is having that. But of course, as I've hinted at, the crazies on social media, the quote-unquote normal people, are having an absolute meltdown. You see posts like this saying, it's kind of evil how Marathon gets called a flop for doing these numbers, but Pragmata doesn't because predator right-wingers want to F the robot child.
So why is that the first place they go to? The implication from FaceTime being here that all 43,751 players in game in their screenshot, they're all predators wanting to, well, you can read it. They want to fuck the child robot, right? All 43,751 people that are currently playing the game based on their screenshot are all predators, are all pedophiles, right? It just doesn't track. And for that to be the only reason the game succeeds? Come on now.
First of all, projection, I mean, this is absolutely insane. Normal people are looking at this game, that by the way has absolutely no sexualization of this character whatsoever, and they're seeing a wholesome father-daughter type bond. But this individual is thinking about a sexualized version of events here. The memes and the related artwork here, it continues to be relevant every single day. I will point out the absolute projection.
We used to have a saying back in the day where I think thou dost protest too much. Now I like to use I like to change it up with I think thou dost project too much, because that's really what they're doing. And it's not necessarily projection that they are predators or anything like that. It's that they're projecting their own insecurities and their own discomfort with the ability, their own discomfort with the idea of a caring father figure and their child and stuff. And that's basically what is on display there in Pragmata.
Of people who are coming to these absurd and disturbing conclusions based on what they're seeing from this game. In fact, this has been one of the main people who is saying that they single-handedly ruined Capcom's reputation with their new game release. 8 likes, okay? Mm-hmm. Well, they're not doing a very good job because the player count is rising every single...
Yep, and this one, Ghoulhag, turned around and said, first of all, the name kind of tells you a lot as well. But then playing Resident Evil. So Resident Evil 9 recently came out as well, in which I believe Grace deals with a blind child. I saw like screenshots and some streaming and whatnot, but I was busy at the time, mostly working. So I didn't catch names or anything like that, so I don't really know too much beyond that, but it's also very much a mother-daughter thing, and there's memes about that going around, but nobody said anything about pedophiles or wanting to engage in sexual activity with the blind child. But when it's a dude with an android girl, now that's where we go to. So there seems to be a clear bias here.
Single day. But this is one of the people that made these related freak-out posts viral, saying, I feel like it's a breach of ethics at this point to design child characters for an audience of majority male gamers.
So where was this criticism with I think the character's name was Emily? Grace and Emily from Resident Evil 9. Where was this criticism there?
They made CP of her that had to be banned on Reddit. This post getting 16,000 likes, by the way. But here's the very quick response to that. Why is the first thought of you seeing a child character is CP? Again, these people are projecting, and it's not so subtle.
Well, no, yeah, there was child pornography of Diana made when the release trailer, not the release trailer, the announcement trailer and stuff came out. I mean, I remember months ago seeing the healing scene and whatnot. There was inappropriate material of Diana produced then, but it had to be deleted, sure. But it's the apex fallacy. It's using that small subset. It's using that small subset of men who produced that shit to represent the whole. And there's nothing about that that's even vaguely appropriate.
In fact, in the replies, the same user claims that Diana looks like a predator's idea of a child's. How would you know that? Do you have some sort of inner knowledge on this subject? How would you know this? And the quotes are roasting this individual, saying,
What an odd thing to say.
What an odd thing to say. 52,000 likes. Hashtag, what dat mean? 4,000 likes. You kind of just exposed yourself. 2,500. What a weird thing to confess. 500 likes. Reset the clock. We've seen this one before, ladies and gentlemen. People making these very strange claims about fictional characters, and then, well, they have a lot of skeletons in their closet.
Yep.
WTF does this even mean? You can see the memes here, guys. Everyone is a bit confused by how this person is drawing that conclusion, but the way people are twisting themselves into a pretzel to try and demonize this game that is completely wholesome and has no adult themes whatsoever are coming up with insane attempts to demonize it like this.
Well, they would. And while the focus in this particular post is on Diana, it actually, from what I can tell, has very little to do with Diana as a concept and more about the fact that a human male, a grown adult man, is involved.
Post saying, now do you understand the difference? As much as it hurts you, Diana is a stylized girl using adult beauty principles, and that's disgusting. They don't model from a real child, but from an attractive base model, often adult, and then they just adjust it with bigger eyes, rounder face, softened features. Do you understand now why it causes rejection and they normalize these subtleties that are wrong? Come at me by the thousand. Now, I'm not going to scroll down because it's just like stupid and gross.
Yeah, it's very weird.
They're complaining about this character, claiming it's something predatory and wrong, the design of Diana, which again, in no way is sexualizing this game, but they take it and then they make it look more realistic. This person edited the real image from the game to make it more realistic, to prove their point that the game is doing something wrong, so I guess they're not doing anything wrong by making it more realistic because they're proving a point on
So it's like, oh, this is pedo bait, so we'll just make it more realistic and make Diana look even more childlike, and this somehow makes it better or makes the point. It's kind of like saying, what? Few hundred million like 100 million people died over the 19th century because of communism. Well, the number's closer to like 500 million or something, but you know, adding an extra couple 100 million doesn't really strengthen the point. Those numbers are just pulled out of my head, so don't come at me. But to make the point, it's like, oh, Elon Musk has like $20 billion. No, he's actually got $40 billion, and that's what he spent on Twitter. It's like, well, you're not really strengthening the point. You know what I mean?
Twitter, completely hypocritical. But don't point out that
that
you
Reddit
like this
mod
game
thing.
on certain places like Reddit, for example. Reddit mods are removing posts and banning people from subreddits for praising and enjoying this game. Yes, someone made a very, very controversial post saying, just finished 100% Pragmata. What a unique, wonderful game. This game was absolutely 10 out of 10 for me. Banned. They removed this post. What do these Reddit mods mean by this? What kind of projection is this? Now, there's also been some attacks from journalists as well. You knew they had to get in on this action. And Kotaku doesn't disappoint with their ridiculous coverage.
You don't hate game journalists enough.
Making this article and the related headline saying fans accuse Capcom's Twitch badge for Pragmata of referencing a Predator meme.
I don't know what that means.
Of course, they're using the term fan, but they're referring to Twitter freaks who are projecting about this game, who are not fans whatsoever, What they're referring to is a post made by the official accounts where they have this crying Twitch badge featuring Diana. And people are thinking this is some reference to related lolicon memes. And if you think Capcom is trying to do something like that in a game that, by the way, has zero sexualization, I think you're making a bit of a reach, to say the least. And this is what people are saying, a crying emoji of all things, as if people weren't already losing their minds, hating on this game even though there's nothing sexual about it. This is either a really funny...
Well, actually, in a strange twist, the fact that there's nothing sexual about the game might be part of why they're losing their minds about it. Because these are people who, well, they look at Diana and then they look at a grown adult man with Diana, and the first thing they think of is, oh, pedophile and pedobait. So I think it's very weird, and it's very telling. And yeah, the fact that there's nothing sexual about the game is probably why they're so, like, they've got to make something sexual about it, right? And it just happens to be a man with a childlike character.
Coincidence, or someone at Capcom being a massive troll. But people went off on this, claiming it's just further proof. It's a wink wink nudge nudge at something, I guess. But it's another reason people are coming after this game and its developers. And then Kotaku, after making these claims, turns around the next day and releases an article saying Pragmata isn't a sad dad game, it's a game that loves fatherhood, and that rules. Now, this would be an excellent Kotaku headline if they had any consistency. You can't say what you just said and then turn around and praise the game. Kotaku's journalistic integrity not found again. Absolutely, well, expected. Yeah, expected from Kotaku, but the memes continue on.
They probably got slapped down hard with the first one and be like, no, we've got a reverse course, go the other way.
Pragmata is a wonderful and refreshing experience that is being introduced out there. Not only a new IP, but featuring a wholesome dynamic that is exactly that, a wholesome dynamic that, of course, is making the demons out there, the fatherless, absolutely seethe and project, telling on themselves as they try to treat this as a new purity test, when nope, it's just a fun and wholesome game, and that just fries their brains, ladies and gentlemen. But that's gonna do it for this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on those notifications. I'm streaming regularly on YouTube these days, so I would love to have you there if you're interested. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.
Yes, it's a very weird state of affairs with Pragmata, and like I said, there's a bit of a double standard and a bias here regarding RE9 and Pragmata, where you had Grace with, I believe her character name was Emily, the blind girl, who spoiler alert, you end up having to kill later on, I believe, because she mutates and into something rather grotesque. Anyway, no backlash there, no pedophile vibes there, but when it's a guy with a young girl character, suddenly it's pedo vibes. So it's very weird, and it's very strange that people go that way. But as Rev said, that's going to do it for my video. Be on the lookout for the follow-up, which will probably be coming through tomorrow. And yeah, streaming will resume shortly, I believe. I shall endeavor to, depending on my schedule, as things have changed up and whatnot, I'll endeavor to get back to streaming again soon. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care, everybody. Have a good one, and cheers.